Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with an August book haul. I have acquired quite a stack of books this August I'm very excited about. I have one electronic and then a bunch of regular books, paperback and hardcover. I went to Books A Million for the first time. I saw Barnes & Noble, but I was real thrilled. It was a great time. So I got 7 books there, a little over my budget. I typically like Amazon, 3 to 5 books a paycheck, and then also Target has a great book selection. So these are the books that I got this month that I'm excited to be reading. Starting with Neanderthal Opens the Door to the Universe by Preston Norton. It is a YA read. It is seemingly lighthearted and fun, so I'm excited. Basically, Neanderthal is a 6'6" guy. He is 250 pounds. He's kind of the outcast in his high school, so you know, typical high school outcast book. But he hates the high school jock, Aaron Zimmerman. And Aaron has a near-death experience, unbeknownst to Neanderthal. And when he comes back to school, he says he needs Neanderthal's help to make the high school a better place. I'm someone who, I'll go from reading something really serious and then I need like a lighthearted, fun book like Neanderthal. So I'm really excited to get into this one after my next big, heavy read. Our second book we have is The Ependymoma Debuffs by Lauren Miracle. It has a 3.21 star rating on Goodreads. It is your typical YA love story. You have Ren Gray. She's the perfect model daughter. She is at the end of high school with straight A's and 0 boyfriends ever. What do you think is going to happen here? She's going to meet Charlie Parker. He's a bad boy with a troubled past and he doesn't think very highly of himself. I actually just watched The Spectacular Now, so it sounds like it's got kind of a similar feel to that. So it looks really cute. Some things are just written in the stars, as the last line of our little syllabus says. So I think it'll be a fun, cheesy YA romance to get into at the end of summer, early fall. So I'm excited. Our next 2 books are actually a package deal. It's the And I Darken series by Kristen White. I actually just started reading fantasy. I just finished Tomi Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone. And I was never a fantasy person. It actually took me 3 weeks to read the book because there's so much detail in fantasy books. But I loved it. So I had to look for another YA fantasy because I want to get into this fantasy world. Children of Blood and Bone really took me out of my comfort zone, but it took me to this magical world, and the book was so beautifully written, had so much fantastic detail. So I was like, let me find another fantasy series. So I came across the And I Darken series. I'm not too sure all of what they're about just yet. I haven't started them, but I got the first 2. The third one is out already, but I just want to get the first 2 to start with, and then I'll pick up the third one. But No One Expects a Princess to be Brutal was all the synopsis on the back said, and I was like, I just read a book about a fierce princess, so I'm excited to get into another book about a fierce princess. And allegedly, Now I Rise, the second book in the series, is like one of the best written books. Has such a great fantasy YA book, so I'm really excited about that. Our 5th book to talk about today that I got while I was at my BAM shopping spree is The Cuckoos Calling by Robert Galbraith, which, as you know, is J.K. Rowling's pseudonym. Maybe you didn't know. I didn't know. I know now. It is about a supermodel who falls to her death off a balcony in London, and the private detective who is psychologically and physically harmed from being a war veteran that investigates her death. And it seems like it's going to be pretty spooky. As the veteran gets into the model's dark secret life, things get a little bit dark. So I am excited to see where it goes. Hopefully it is a good psychological thriller. Has a 3.85 on Goodreads, so could go either way. There are some reviews that say it's a little bit slow, so I'll have to let you guys know what I think if it's worth the time. The next book I'm going to bring to you guys today is The Life and Death Parade by Eliza Wass. I was excited about this book. The first thing that caught my eye, honestly, was the cover. You know, sometimes you cover shop. It's very shiny. It looks dark, a little bit spooky, so I was like immediately drawn to it. In this book, Kitty's boyfriend visits a psychic, and the psychic tells him he has no future. A year later, he is dead. Kitty goes out to find more information about the psychic who gave Nikki this future and what it all means, and she meets Rowan, a young boy who's actually posing as a medium. And he integrates his way into Nikki's family's household and tries to help them move on from this loss. But of course there are secrets to be discovered about everyone, including Rowan and Kitty herself. So it looks really interesting. It looks really dark. I'm excited to get into it. I think I might save this one for actually like a little early October, mid-September book. Get a little spooky time before the holiday. Our next book to talk about is A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. This one has been on my list to pick up for a long time, and when I went to BAM, they had one copy left, and I saw it sitting on the shelf, and I had to get it. It's so pretty, and apparently the book packs an emotional sucker punch. I'm a big sucker for books that like rip your heart out and leave you like laying in bed like in the fetal position. So allegedly this is one of those books, so I could not be more excited. It's about Adam Blake. He's a high schooler who goes and gets an elective in the psychologist's office. He has to track down a boy who's been dodging the psychologist, who turns out to be his long-lost foster brother named Julian. And Julian has a lot of secrets, and there are some things going on in his household that are not great. And both boys' involvement in trying to better Julian's life could get them killed. So it is allegedly very emotional. I'm really excited to cry about it. Our next book is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. Another one I've been really excited about for a long time, but when I saw it, I had to pick it up. I have been waiting for it. Allegedly, this book is a little bit provocative, perhaps involves a little bit of pedophilia, but the description it gives is a provocative love story between two unlikely people living above a Midwestern meth lab. So we'll stick with that. But all the reviews are like raw, gripping, disturbing, a great narrative, so I can't wait to be sucked into this book. It's allegedly an outstanding debut novel from Bryn Greenwood, and I can't wait to see what else comes of this book. The next book I have for you guys is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I know I have to get this book. Everyone tells me I have to get this book. I'm in multiple Facebook book club groups, and everyone's like, you have to read this book. A YA classic. It's Next Fault in Our Stars. I know. So I am going to read it. It's on my list for the next couple of books that I will be reading. I typically read 2 to 3 books a week, so we'll get there. All the reviews are like moving and astounding and The Next Fault in Our Stars, so I really can't wait to get into it. It's got a 4.18 on Goodreads, so you know it's serious. Violet is counting down the days until she moves off to college and gets away from her hometown in the wake of her sister's death, and Finch is depressed and fascinated by death, and every day he thinks of ways that he could die or is going to die. And of course they meet 6 feet above the ground, or is it 6 stories? I lied to you. They meet 6 stories above the ground, and it's unclear who saves whom. So you know it's going to be a YA drama for the ages. There's definitely some tea there that I can't wait to find out about. My next book for you guys, I'm so excited about. It's called It Looks Like This by Rafi Middlefit. Mike's dad finds them a new church and wants him to ditch art for sports, but then Mike meets Sean. I love us a good gay romance. I'm so excited. Mike meets Sean and they start doing projects together, a French project. They play sports together. They hang out all the time. And you know where this is going. It's the gay plot twist that we've been waiting for. I'm so excited. I love good LGBTQ representation, especially in YA books. I think they're so sweet and informative, and I'm really excited. The next book I'm coming at you with is Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls. It is by Lynn Weingarten, and and it looks very, very interesting. It immediately struck my attention because Delia burns herself to death in a shed. That is a way to go out. But her best friend June, even though it's labeled as a suicide, her best friend June does not believe this. They were the close-knit best friends. Apparently one night a year before, June, her boyfriend Ryan, and Delia were having a good time. I don't know what that entails just yet, but I'll be sure to let you know. And that's when everything changed between Delia and June, and now Delia is dead, and June wants to find out why and exactly what happened. So I'm very excited for this. It has a 3.48 on Goodreads, so a little bit low, especially for a psychological thriller. Like, usually I go for ones that are like 4 or 5 stars because I tend to not get into psychological stuff as much, but it looks really good, so I can't wait for this one. And last but certainly not least, I picked up this book today. It is called The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. It was recommended to me from Children of Blood and Bone, which we already talked about. It's another fantasy YA. I'm super excited about it. It was one of the summer's bestsellers for YA and for fantasy, so I'm really excited to delve into this. Alice, her grandmother, writes dark fables, which sounds really interesting. I would like to read some dark fables. If anyone has any good suggestions, please send them my way. And her grandmother dies alone on her estate called the Hazelwood. When Alice and her mother go to the estate, Alice's mother is stolen by a figure from the dark realm that her grandmother writes about the Hazelwood, and the only hint that she has is a note from her mother, stay away from the Hazelwood. Seems a little bit late if you ask me, since they went there willingly, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. Get a little YA, get a little fantasy, little dark fables. It seems like the perfect mix of all the stuff that I'm really interested in. So I'm excited to get my hands on this one and start reading it. That's all I have for you guys for this video. My current read, my #NowReading, is Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine. One of the summer's #1 bestsellers. You've seen it, you've heard of it. I honestly think it's really slow to start off with, but I'm only on page 50. Oh, I got my cute little Jules Verne bookmark that I'm so excited about. It says you will travel in a land of marvels. It cost me $4, but I had a compass and it's so cute, so I had to get it. So I had to, of course, get the summer's bestseller. I had to read it, so I'm working on it now after I just finished Children of Blood and Bone, another big one from the summer. I think going into my next book, I will probably be doing these 4 first. Not necessarily in this order, so please tell me which ones you think I should read first. But I think I'm most excited for All the Right Places, the Hazelwood, Suicide Notes for Beautiful Girls, and It Looks Like This. They're kind of spanning all the genres that I'm really interested in, so I'm really, really excited to get into these 4. If you want to read them at a similar time, if you want to follow me when I'm reading them, my Instagram is @rdarian, and I post a lot about all the stuff I'm reading on there, so we can book club it and read them together. With that, thank you for checking out my August book haul. I'll be back in September with another book haul. I buy books like it is my job. If you have any suggestions on books that you think I might want to pick up, please let me know. We have a lot of big fall releases coming out. The 2018 book year is not over, people. What If It's Us? I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you for watching, as always, and subscribe.